smile so sweet it could take your breath away. Her name was Sarah, and she lived in Tulsa. She was kind and gentle, a little bit shy, and Dalton knew in his heart that they would be together forever. All he had to do was to actually meet her. Dalton knew that people, mainly his boss, Sheriff Milt Kovak, thought of him as kind of stupid, but he wasn't really. Dalton just didn't have a lot of confidence, which is why he asked so many questions. He just wanted to make sure that he had everything absolutely straight in his head before he attempted something. He didn't like making mistakes, and if asking a lot of what people called fool questions kept him from making mistakes, then so be it. Better to look a fool than be a fool, his mama always said. And in Dalton's line of work, a mistake could cost somebody his life. A few years back, Dalton had done something that made him a hero in the eyes of the town, and he'd gloried in that, but not for long. As his mama often said, the real question is, what have you done lately? Meaning, don't rely on the praise of past glories. Nobody'll remember them, except for you. Not being stupid, Dalton hadn't told anyone, not even his mama, about Sarah. He'd told a friend back in the 9th grade about Sally Jeffries, and it had gotten all over school and made him look a fool. Better to look a fool than be a fool, always ended with his mama adding, but never look a fool if you can help it. So he emailed Sarah every night, sometimes 3 or 4 times if she kept answering him, from the privacy of his bedroom computer. Sometimes they'd IM each other, just like having a phone conversation, except without awkward silences or stuttered words on his part. But now Sarah wanted to meet him, wanted him to come to Tulsa. Just the thought made his palms sweat and ears ring. What if she didn't like him? She said she thought he was handsome in his picture, but that only showed his face with his gray-green eyes, blonde hair in standard military cut, and lopsided smile with one dimple. He always thought that one dimple and the crooked smile made him look a little stupid, but she had said she thought he looked handsome. But what if she didn't realize he was a big old boy? Maybe she didn't like him real tall or real big. Not that Dalton was fat. Most of it was muscle. But sometimes that put off some girls, or so his mama said. Sarah. What a sweet old-fashioned name. He thought it went well with her picture. In it she wore a pale pink sweater set and a strand of pearls, her hair to her shoulders and slightly flipped out at the ends. No piercings, no tattoos. They talked about that, and she'd been adamant that it was a sacrilege to deface one's body in such a way. Your body is your temple, she'd written, created by God in His image. Would you stick holes in God? Put a picture of a butterfly on God? Dalton had agreed with her 100%. He wasn't a particularly religious person, although he went with his mama to the Church of Christ every Sunday. He mostly daydreamed or slept during the sermon, and he hadn't read the Bible since he was a boy. But he agreed that piercing or tattooing one's body was somehow offensive to God. Dalton very much wanted to meet Sarah, but he wanted that part to be over. He wanted them to just move on to the part where they loved each other and wanted to get married and have babies. At 34, Dalton was definitely ready for that part of his life to begin. He was tired of just being Uncle Dalton to his sister's 3 kids and his brother's 4. He wanted his own, and he wanted Sarah. In his daydreams, he saw Sarah in their kitchen, all white and yellow, with her in that pink sweater set, feeding their baby at the kitchen table. The baby, a boy of course, in his high chair, laughing and gurgling as his mama spooned in the food. In his daydreams, Dalton stood watching them, a smile on his face, content with his lot in life. Sometimes he saw the 2 of them, he and Sarah, at the zoo in Tulsa on a Sunday. Sarah with a little girl in a stroller, he with his son riding on his shoulders. They were laughing and pointing at the animals, the children excited, and he and Sarah looking on with good-humored indulgence. One of his favorite daydreams was being in Sheriff Kovak's backyard with the sheriff's young son, Johnny Mack, teaching Dalton's boy how to throw a ball, and Sarah and Jean talking with